Imagine a world without time. No clocks to wake you up, no calendars to plan your day, no way to know when the seasons will change. How would we live, work, or connect with one another? For thousands of years, humans have been obsessed with measuring time, and the tools we've created to do it have shaped the course of history. Join me as we journey through the incredible evolution of timekeeping, from ancient sundials to the most advanced atomic clocks of today. Our story begins thousands of years ago, in a time when humans first started observing the natural world to make sense of their days and nights. One of the earliest tools created for this purpose was the sundial. Sundials were a simple yet revolutionary invention. By using the position of the sun in the sky, these devices could divide the day into hours. A stick, called a gnomon, cast a shadow on a flat surface marked with time intervals. As the sun moved, so did the shadow. Civilizations like the ancient Egyptians and Babylonians used sundials to organize their daily lives. While they weren't perfect, cloudy days rendered them useless. They laid the foundation for humanity's understanding of time as something measurable. But what about nighttime, or when the sun wasn't visible? Enter the water clock, an ingenious solution developed by the ancient Egyptians. Known as a clepsydra, this device measured time by the steady flow of water from one container to another. The Greeks later refined this technology, adding markings to the containers to indicate the passage of time. Water clocks were used in everything from religious rituals to courtroom speeches, where they helped ensure fairness by limiting how long each person could speak. While these clocks were more reliable than sundials, they still had limitations. The flow of water could be inconsistent, especially if the device wasn't maintained properly. Then came one of the simplest and most practical timekeeping tools, the sand timer, or hourglass. Unlike sundials and water clocks, sand timers could measure smaller increments of time with remarkable consistency. Hourglasses became widely popular in the Middle Ages, particularly for timing sermons, cooking, and even sea voyages. Their portability and simplicity made them indispensable for everyday tasks. While these tools seem primitive by today's standards, they marked an important step in humanity's quest to measure and manage time. Each invention brought us closer to the accurate, portable timekeeping devices we rely on today. From shadows and dripping water to grains of sand, early timekeeping methods reveal the ingenuity of ancient civilizations. But as human society advanced, so did our need for more precise and reliable ways to track time. Let's explore the next great leap: mechanical clocks.
The real breakthrough in timekeeping came with the invention of the escapement mechanism during the Middle Ages. This ingenious device allowed mechanical clocks to measure time in regular intervals by controlling the motion of a clock's gears. It transformed time from a vague concept into something that could be divided into hours and minutes. The first mechanical clocks were massive and often installed in churches or town centers. They became a symbol of technological progress, helping communities stay organized and connected. Medieval Europe relied heavily on mechanical clocks, particularly in churches, where they regulated the daily schedule of prayers. These clocks didn't have dials as we know them today. Instead, they used bells to announce the time. By ringing the bells at set intervals, these clocks helped structure daily life. They were a vital tool for monasteries, towns, and even early governments. Timekeeping had shifted from the personal realm of sundials and water clocks to a communal, shared resource. By the 15th century, advances in miniaturization led to the creation of portable clocks, known as spring-driven clocks. These clocks, small enough to be carried or placed on a table, were a luxury item and a symbol of wealth and status. These early portable clocks were far from perfect. They weren't particularly accurate, but they represented a major cultural shift. Time was becoming personal. People began to carry it with them, reflecting a growing awareness of the value of time in everyday life. But the quest for precision didn't stop there. The next great leap in timekeeping would come from the discovery of a simple yet revolutionary principle: the pendulum. In the late 16th century, Galileo Galilei made a groundbreaking observation. The consistent swinging of a pendulum could be used to regulate time. Although Galileo never built a clock himself, his ideas paved the way for Dutch scientist Christiaan Huygens. In 1656, Huygens built the first pendulum clock, which dramatically improved accuracy. It could measure time down to the second, something no earlier clock had achieved. Pendulum clocks not only transformed households, but also played a vital role in scientific research, allowing for precise experiments and observations. In the 18th century, precision timekeeping became essential for navigation. Sailors needed an accurate way to calculate longitude at sea, where traditional methods often failed. Enter the marine chronometer, invented by John Harrison in 1761. Harrison's chronometer was a game changer. It allowed sailors to determine their exact position on the globe, saving countless lives and revolutionizing trade and exploration. With the marine chronometer, timekeeping became more than a convenience. It became a tool for conquering the unknown. It laid the groundwork for a globalized world where time zones and schedules could be standardized. From the swinging pendulum to the open seas, these innovations brought us closer to the precise timekeeping tools we use today. But the story of time doesn't end here. In our next chapter, we'll explore how the advent of electricity and atomic science revolutionized timekeeping once again.
Before wristwatches, pocket watches were the go-to personal timekeepers. They were elegant, ornate, and often carried in a vest pocket attached by a chain. But while they were practical in their time, a more convenient solution was on the horizon. The wristwatch, initially seen as a fashion accessory for women, started gaining traction among men in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. These watches were smaller, portable, and allowed users to check the time without fumbling for a pocket watch. This marked the beginning of a shift toward more practical, everyday timekeeping. The true turning point for wristwatches came during World War I. Soldiers needed a quick and reliable way to synchronize their actions in the heat of battle. Pocket watches were cumbersome and inefficient, so wristwatches became the standard for military use. By the end of the war, wristwatches were no longer seen as a luxury item or a women's accessory. They had become a practical tool for everyone, symbolizing efficiency and modernity. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we see the next major revolution in timekeeping: quartz technology. Invented in 1927, the quartz watch relies on the vibrations of a quartz crystal to keep time. This technology was incredibly accurate and much cheaper to produce than mechanical watches. By the 1970s, quartz watches had taken the world by storm, making precise timekeeping affordable and accessible to the masses. Quartz watches didn't just tell time, they changed the way people viewed and used time in their daily lives. They ushered in the era of digital timekeeping, setting the stage for modern smartwatches and other wearable tech. But the pursuit of precision didn't stop there. To truly understand time at its most fundamental level, scientists turned to the building blocks of the universe itself: atoms. Atomic clocks represent the pinnacle of precision in timekeeping. But how do they work? At their core, atomic clocks rely on the consistent vibrations of atoms, most commonly cesium atoms. When cesium atoms are exposed to specific energy levels, they oscillate at an incredibly stable rate, 9,192,631,770 times per second, to be exact. This frequency is so precise that it has become the official definition of a second. Atomic clocks aren't just scientific curiosities, they play a critical role in modern technology. For example, the Global Positioning System, GPS, relies on atomic clocks aboard satellites to provide precise location data. Even a 1 millisecond error in these clocks can result in location inaccuracies of hundreds of meters. That's why atomic clocks are vital for navigation, especially for airplanes, ships, and even your smartphone. In space exploration, atomic clocks enable spacecraft to communicate with Earth across vast distances. They ensure that signals are timed perfectly, allowing us to study distant planets, asteroids, and beyond. Back on Earth, atomic clocks also synchronize telecommunications networks, ensuring that data is transmitted and received without delays. From the internet to mobile phones, these clocks keep the digital world running smoothly. From ancient sundials to the quantum precision of atomic clocks, The evolution of timekeeping is a testament to humanity's ingenuity. As we look to the future, who knows what innovations will emerge to measure the unstoppable march of time? As precise as atomic clocks are, scientists are already working on the next generation optical lattice clocks. These devices use lasers to trap atoms in a grid like structure, known as a lattice, and measure the oscillations of light. Optical lattice clocks are up to 100 times more precise than current atomic clocks, capable of measuring time so accurately that they won't lose a second in billions of years. These clocks could redefine time standards, opening doors to groundbreaking technologies in navigation, astronomy, and even climate science. Another frontier for timekeeping lies in the world of quantum computing. Quantum computers rely on extreme precision to manipulate qubits, units of quantum information. Advanced timekeeping will ensure that computations are synchronized at unimaginably small scales. With timekeeping systems built for quantum computing, we could unlock the potential of solving problems previously thought unsolvable, revolutionizing industries like cryptography, materials science, and artificial intelligence. But here's a philosophical question. Are we truly measuring time, or are we creating it? Time, as we understand it, is a human construct, a tool to bring order to the chaos of existence. Einstein showed us that time is relative, bending and stretching depending on gravity and speed. The more we dive into quantum physics and the fabric of the universe, the more mysterious time becomes. Could it be that, in our quest to measure time, we are shaping our own understanding of reality? From ancient sunlit stones to the quantum realm, humanity's journey through timekeeping is as much a reflection of our curiosity as it is our innovation. Why do we measure time? Is it to control our lives, to make sense of the world, or simply to mark our fleeting existence? Perhaps it's all of these. Timekeeping connects us to the past, grounds us in the present, and helps us plan for the future. Through every tick of the clock, we are reminded of the unyielding passage of time, a force that binds us all yet remains elusive. Now it's your turn. Which timekeeping invention do you think has had the greatest impact on humanity? Is it the sundial, the mechanical clock, or perhaps the atomic clock? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating journeys into the science, history, and philosophy of our world. Until next time, keep making every moment count.